What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing our first of our three-part series for the Impala rebuild. Today is going to be all the tear down, basically getting everything out of the way so that way we can start tearing apart this block and figure out what exactly causes this thing to leak its coolant into the engine. Alrighty. Imagine my impact just like it stops working. Oh God. Oh, well, already broke our first piece. Already broken. I'm just having a hard time seeing down here. Alright, and then it's nice if you don't have a diagram of your belt, either get a piece of paper and draw it off before you draw it on a piece of paper before you take it off, or take a picture so then when you're gonna go put it back on, because this can turn into a pain in the butt. But once you got it off, I also learned something that it's not actually, you can't, with new age belts, they've increased the technology that you can't just take it off and look and see if there's any cracks in it. That's just not how the rubber's made anymore with new age belts. It used to be that way in the old school stuff, so we'll have to get a groove tester and see if the groove thickness is still deep enough for this to be considered a reusable belt. Imagine if I dropped this. Oh my gosh. So since we're taking out the engine mounts, I want to support the engine a little bit because I'm worried about the other, so there's 3 engine mounts on this car, and I'm worried about the bottom engine mount just not holding up very well, and I don't want our whole motor to be supported just by that one engine mount. So I'm taking just a tire jack, a piece of wood, and I'm going to put light, and I mean light pressure on the oil pan. Do not put the whole weight of the engine on the pan. You don't want to do that. You just want to put just enough to support the engine so it doesn't sag too much, and then create bindings in other spots. If you have a floor jack, use the floor jack with wood, but if not, that tire jack will work just fine. And you're going to want to go in the center of the pan. Well, you just don't want to be on a corner or whatever. You want to evenly distribute the weight. Is all you want to do. Something. See, now you're free floating. So quick disclaimer, you are just supposed to be able to pull the alternator bolt out just like that, but we actually had to pull the motor a little bit this way, so we needed another person take these 2 bolts off, and we just lifted this up just so we could get the bolt out. But not every car is going to be that way, because some of your lower motor mounts might be loose enough that you're just able to pull the motor to get enough slack. Luckily, our motor mount is good enough that we didn't have to do that, but it just creates a little issue. Alright, and then if you have one of these swivel guys, it's helpful. But if you don't, you can probably stick a wrench in there on the other end. But this is going to be easier for us, so we can just get it in one swing, or not one swing, but like don't have to remove. You do have to make sure it's on there though. This one cheeky bolt back here, what helps, or is what stops the alternator from flipping up this way, which you'll see in just a second. What is this guy going on about?
Who's yapping about something?
Who's yapping about bolts that the viewers can't even see?
Yeah, you're free. Pull that thing out of there.
Well, we're still caught on.
It's just that it's tight. Totally go back and forth.
You're gonna wiggle it back and forth until that comes out. So
Get that close to the camera.
there's a bolt that sits here and here. You can't see them from the top, and that's what helps swivel this up. Then you remove this bolt. Was that not in frame?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. This bolt, and then you take the whole thing out.
We don't have the golden ratchet here.
How are we gonna successfully work on cars? Oh. You love the sound effects, don't you?
It's like ASMR, you're like inches away from the mic.
What is up, guys? I'm pulling the bolt out now. Oh, you recording?
Yep.
Full of fluid. I got fluid all in my socks. That's why you wear jeans and pants. And then take that off so it reduces the pressure. And I guess that fluid needs replaced anyways. Having that. Well, and then. This is weird. Alright. There we go.
Oh no, it's one of those things.
Well, no, honestly, you want that on an A to B car.
How's the filter looking these days?
That was
Not bad. Ah, never mind.
no, that's. If your filter looks like this, you're gonna want to replace it.
Kanan. Brought to you
like
by...
and subscribe to if you want to see us put a K&N air filter on this 2002.
Do we need this box out?
Yeah, it's just gonna be easier to have everything out of the way, or just have that out of the way. It might honestly just. Yeah.
Oh.
As long as it, once again, we'll clean. Why don't you pull the box out?
I can. Ow. That's something. There it is.
Hold my bear. The one glove is wild.
Got it.
Oh!
Ah.
Cause I
Ah, there it is.
recording? So, hold these. You gotta pull all the spark plug boots out, and then there's goodness gracious. There's four bolts in the back of that. Once you get obviously the whole top part of the engine wiring harness off, and then there is another like a holder for another connector that you do have to pull that out. So don't be yanking on that, otherwise you'll be pulling the connector out. And other than that, just make sure your clearance or everything. Don't start yanking because you'll start pulling wires out of things you don't want to pull wires out. Make sure to look, you know, if you're still holding on to something, because these can catch really easily on stuff. But just don't yank on it like it's a mechanical part.
Just the fact that I always hate stuff like that. It's like you have to take apart like all the stuff just to get one bolt. Yeah.
Brand new.
Freight quality. This.
Once you remove the EGR valve, there's two bolts that are holding this on. This, we used a little extension with the 10 mil. We kind of went at it like this way, just because when we were doing it with a wrench, we were only getting about a half a turn each time. So we did it this way, and then we had to actually thread these back on. We tried taking this off and realized for the actual line, we had to put these back on to get enough like traction, so it didn't just snap the bolts. Or like we needed it to hold it in place basically. So word of note, take this bolt off before you take these two bolts off.
And then there's a gasket on the
And
other
there's
side.
a gasket, don't lose the gasket. We lost the gasket.
No, we did.
Oh, actually, yeah.
We have it right there. We have the gasket.
We have the gasket.
We have the gasket.
This is the gasket. Don't lose this gasket. Gasket's important. Alright, don't do this at home. This is like the fastest way to make your mom mad, especially if you're using her. Oh my god, it's squirting! Maybe that was a sign not to do this. It literally squirted at me.
What if it just like it just blows up?
Look at this. Like, it's squirting at me. Look at that.
The cameraman stepping back. Okay, so head pressure behind
I
it.
just had some pressure. We should have probably relieved that pressure, but whatever.
Are we really just about to...
I mean, there's not a whole bunch of other options that we have. Hey, at least on the bright side, we're gonna drain the oil and the coolant at the same time. What? Alright. I think we're on. Yeah, we are.
Dang.
Oh, it's going all over the AC. So I'm immediately gonna like lift this up. There we go. Nice. That's how to successfully remove coolant. So when you lower this, see your coolant shouldn't have an oily tint to it.
I suppose you just don't open the top and dump it out. Oh, all right. You can use an impact for those. You have big boy tools, man.
I know. I would rather crack them and then do that, just because these are.
That's the point of the setting.
On aluminum.
Alright, you got the impact one? Yeah, what size is that? I have it. Just give me the threes.
Those coolant lines are what's holding us back. So we went ahead and disconnected these coolant lines, and all they needed was a little bit of like finessing. We just stuck the needle nose in there, kind of pushing the lip around, but not enough to crack it. And then we took the rest of the bolts off for the rest of the intake manifold, and then this should just lift right off. But, disclaimer, it is very difficult. Alright, so these are your fuel lines. You're going to want to take these off next. You're going to want to mark these fuel lines because you're going to want to make sure these go back in the same one. So I marked two lines with a Sharpie, 2 lines on the other line, 1 and 1. This has to come off. And then I just went and bought a set from O'Reilly's. You can definitely buy nicer stuff. But push in. And then pull out, and then you will have a little bit of fuel. So if you have any open cuts like I do, burns a little bit, but maybe get yourself like a cup or something to pour this in. But if you don't mind, then it's fine. Fuel rail comes out not easy at all. Maybe it's easy on other people's cars, but for some reason we had the hardest time with this. Literally bending screwdrivers, whatever. You stick it, for the connectors, you're gonna stick a flat head, and then this little lock piece is gonna come out, and then it'll fold out, and then you just pull it out like a normal connector. But then this should, if you removed your fuel lines correctly, this should just come out, which we still need to remove this guy down here, which that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So, in order to get this out of there, this is a pain. I mean, depends on how things leak, but it shouldn't be dirty, but it should. Anyways, now you're gonna have to wiggle this out. Best bet is take a screwdriver, put it on this side, another screwdriver, wedge it in there, and then just kind of wiggle it until it pops out. It's going to come out very, very slowly though. So,
Lots of working at it.
a lot of grunting.
Holes, but we'll just have to clean it really well. We'll just have to make sure we like really clean it.
Okay. These look really good. That's the thing, is like,
It's holding me up for a reason.
all right.
Nice. That looks a little crisp.
But hey. We didn't do anything.
What are you talking about?
You're just yanking it.
What are you talking about? You didn't take it. This is like off. It's still connected. What do you mean still connected? I thought you pulled the bolt off.
No.
You didn't pull the bolt off?
It's not a bolt, it's a nut. Don't tell me we can just pop that thing out. Can we? Because it's like...
Yeah, it wants to come out. Yep, you're almost there. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, great. Now pull it out.
Oh.
It was the gasket.
Alright. Alright, well, we got this far. Day 1. Stay tuned.